All right, you guys, we all hit record.
I already got all the outtakes of you fucking around.
Oh,
Been
fantastic.
recording since 11 minutes.
Welcome, everybody, to the first ever Turtles AMA live stream running on Twitch. We usually have these on X Spaces, also known as Twitter, but of course, we have decided to upgrade. Some of you may think it's a downgrade, but we have decided to upgrade to a live streaming format. We did have a little bit of technical difficulties, but I think things are looking pretty good and positive right now. Today's guest is a special guest of ours. If you guys have been following the YouTube channel, you'll know that Anks has been featured, or Finding the Underground Raves of VRChat, where she's kind of talked a little bit about her background and also given some advice to new DJs or different types of artists to get involved in the VRChat music scene. I want to welcome Anks to the stream. Let's give her some claps or some emotes, however that works.
Hello.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sick. Well, Anks, thank you for coming. We totally got here on time with
Absolutely.
no rough patches. No rough patches for sure.
Not at all.
Not at all. This is quality content. Well, I want to ask you, how are you doing on this fine day?
Yeah, quite a way, it's chilling.
Chilling. Well,
Yeah.
I want to jump right into it. So I know you've been listening and speaking on some of our spaces in the past and kind of giving your takes on DJing and also kind of the outlook of generally what it's like to DJ. And for you, your journey, your technical 9 to 5 job based on the previous video is that you have a 9 to 5 in marketing, but on the side, you also do performing arts in VRChat. Would you say that's a pretty fair assessment of your bio?
I guess you can say that, yes.
Nice.
That's pretty accurate.
Nice. Well, first question I want to ask is, do you work from home? How does that work? Working in
Yeah.
marketing?
I mean, you sit in front of your computer and work. That's how home office works. Was that the question?
I guess that's the question. So the next question I guess I have is, what's it like working in marketing? Because I feel as though that's somewhat tied closely to growing your own personal brand on Twitch as well as your other social media platforms. Do you kind of feel as though there's some sort of overlap between the corporate world and what you're doing personally? Or do you think they're completely different fields?
No, I would say there are some overlaps, not with my current position because that branched off a little. But I definitely learned a few things about like brands and stuff. And back in the days, I did do some like YouTube related stuff and all sorts of. But did you seriously invite me here to talk about my IRL job?
Well, just breaking the ice, breaking the,
That's
getting,
not how you break the ice.
well, getting a little bit into it. But, I wanted to ask because, you've, from your journey, from learning, well, teaching yourself how to DJ and VJ and all these things, I feel as though your marketing journey with growing your social brand is somewhat related to your journey in that case as well. So do you mind kind of expanding a little bit on what the beginning of that journey looks like and maybe looking back some things you would have done a little bit differently or things you wish you would have known?
You mean when I started out with DJing? I think I had a pretty solid start actually. With so basically the way I started, and I very much like that story because I just one day, I thought, ooh, DJing would be cool, and then I just typed how to DJ into YouTube and watched a video, and that's how it all started basically. Literally that. I was in VR for a little while before that already. I started out like dancing and just hanging out at parties and all that. And then, COVID hit even more than it already had. I was at an incredibly low amount of hours in the week, so I had plenty of free time.
Gotcha. Okay, so I mean, COVID seems to be the beginning of the VR journey for a lot of people. I mean, myself included. I joined in 2021. Looking back, any things you wish you would have known, or do you think things have changed since you started getting into DJing, whether that's kind of the social scene in general, or maybe the way that people learn how to DJ, or the reasons why people get into DJ have changed? What does that outlook kind of look like for you?
That's a good COVID babies, yeah, literally. That's a good question. I wouldn't even say that much has really changed, for me personally at least. But I'm just kind of like floating around doing my own thing, kind of sorta. One weird thing that I did notice is that the clubs I DJ for, like a few of them tend to like shorten their slots for the DJs to a point where I remember one time I saw a poster with like 20-minute slots. And I was just like, huh?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I remember that when I started out, it was pretty much common sense that you had your host who would set up the board for you and pop in your link and all that, and maybe if it was a club that changes in the worlds and stuff like that, they would ask, oh, what world would you like to play in? All that stuff. And it was kind of just like, it was just part of it that you would get the link of the DJ who plays after you. And nowadays I just don't get that anymore. Like, unless I look up myself which DJ is playing after me, it's just whatever, which I think is really, really sad because I love that, this like, oh, we're supporting each other, we're raiding into each other and all that, and pushing the crowd around. And now it just doesn't seem to be a thing anymore, which I think is really, really sad because it takes away a lot of this, support each other aspect. And unless I remember to look it up before my set, I'm just like, well, oops.
Gotcha.
So that's
gotcha.
something I'm genuinely missing. That doesn't seem to be as common anymore.
Gotcha. So just based off of what I'm hearing, the culture surrounding the VR DJs have kind of changed, whereas before it was, hey, let's all sing Kumbaya, we're all in this together. But things have kind of changed now in terms of, oh, you just go up, play your set, and then just dip, and then you don't really know who's playing after you. You're just kind of more, should I say, self-absorbed? Do you think that's the correct term?
Oh, that's a good question. I obviously can't speak for the whole scene, because the
Yeah.
scene is so incredibly massive by now. Yeah, I don't even know whether I would call it that. It does feel a bit like it sometimes, yeah. But I wouldn't like put like an overall negative spotlight on the whole community because of that.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, I like to think I've spent a good amount of time in this scene, getting to meet a whole bunch of people compared to my very first video that I hung out with the Seventh Dimension crew way back.
Yeah.
And it was like my first outlook into what a VR rave would look like, and it was honestly super spectacular. And as the year, just this year alone has kind of gone by, I want to say, with the exception of Slyfest and maybe some of these big festivals that are happening, it feels as though maybe there's a little bit less, what's the word, cohesiveness with the scene, and instead you're starting to see a lot of these little.
Means.
Oh,
Can you explain that for non-mother tongue people?
Oh yeah. So cohesiveness meaning like how together things are, right? So if something is super cohesive, that means everything is together. But if it's not cohesive, then my point being, you have a lot of these little mini groups that are starting to pop up, and maybe they're not networking with each other as much as they would have during the COVID peak years.
So for me personally, it does feel like that sometimes. However, to get an educated reason argument on that, you should definitely ask a club owner instead.
That
Because
makes sense.
I'm just hopping around. I'm very much doing my own thing. Myself. But yeah, I feel like an impression I also have sometimes that people who start out, or who either start out DJing or who start as start their own clubs and stuff like that, that they sometimes feel like they run like one or two events, or they play one or two sets, and bam, all of a sudden they need to have like fill every instance every time, and like, I don't know, attract their own crowd,
Oh.
stuff like that. And the reason why I'm wondering about that is because I go by the philosophy, something like that, by I go by the thinking that if you want me to DJ for you, you write me a Discord DM, a nice one. Please don't just go, oh, here's the slot, play for me.
Yeah.
You just write me a nice message, and I will check whether I can play. And if I can't, sorry, next time. And if I can, hell yeah, I'm in. And a lot of those DMs that I received lately turned into, oh, damn, you're really nice. I thought like you wouldn't want to play for us because our club is too small. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Huh?
That is crazy to me because
Yeah, it is crazy to me. It's like, what do you mean? We're just a bunch of people in VR, and yeah, maybe you're not Slifers, but that's fine. I just want to play some music, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah. And I do want to welcome all the new people coming to the stream. Hey guys, what's poppin'? Zashu, thank you for the follow. Wow, I trying to figure out Noossphere, yes, and Snitchy. Hello, welcome. So I want to read
a bunch of questions, by the way.
Oh yeah, there are a whole bunch of questions. So hopefully the audio is good enough for you guys that it's working pretty well. Let me know if it's pretty good. And I do want to read a comment from Snitchy because I think this is pretty interesting and kind of going along with our topic here. They said, the best events are the events when all the DJs performing are there from start to end, but so hard to make all time schedules work. And now since the scene, I'm assuming the scene, has grown, a DJ shows up, plays, poof, gone, next one up. Do you think that's kind of a fair assessment of the way things are looking right now?
Well, I'm guilty of that myself.
Yeah, well, that's
like,
fair.
you know, I enjoy DJing very much, but very often you will actually see me do exactly that. I show up, I do my thing, and then afterwards I'm there for like 20 minutes, maybe. And then I'm just out again. In my case, that is specifically because I'm just not good in crowds. Like, you know, when I'm DJing, I can be part, you know, of the event and make sure people have a good time, and that's great. That makes me incredibly happy. That's kind of why I'm doing it, you know, because I just want to make sure people have a good time. But I'm so bad with like anything social. Like, you should have seen me. I think it was a month ago or so. I was playing IRL. It was a 1 hour set, right? And obviously, when it's IRL, you have to hang out there for a little.
Yeah.
I was spent. I slept for 12 hours after that,
Oh,
and I was still
wow.
tired.
Wow.
I am just like, that's nothing against the people who are there, anything like that. But I'm just very quickly exhausted when I'm surrounded by crowds, and I'm just like, oh Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah, I'm doing exactly that. Unfortunately, I love, you know, hanging out on Twitch. I'll listen to the DJs there. If the DJ is only on VRCDN, then I figured out the VRCDN name a few times already, so I can listen to the preview at least. But I get where Snitchy's opinion is coming from, you know, with like everyone just hanging out together, having a great time. But from my point of view, I also just fully understand why you wouldn't do it. And I am sorry. I hope nobody ever felt offended by that. It's nothing personal. It's just me being a bit.
Yeah.
Scary.
It is a little scary, yeah. So this is interesting. So this comment from Arkentos. So does it feel like there should be a new system or cultural adjustment to maintain a stable flow among DJs? That seems pretty, I don't want to say vague, but I'm kind of curious because I haven't really worked in the behind the scenes of how people are setting up these events that are going live in VR. But what do you feel like has been the system that has worked the best for you?
A
Or-
system as in?
As in, let's say you get invited to a club. Is there a particular club or a way that people organize events that you think, damn, this was really smooth? Or, wow, I wish they improved on this one little part.
I mean, usually it kind of always goes the same way, right? You have like one person who handles everything. You know, if it's like a big club, they have a bunch of hosts, like DDVR, for example. They have, you know, a bunch of slots, and then every DJ has their own host they can reach out to, send over their link and all that. You know, you're usually there and ready a few minutes beforehand, ideally.
Yeah.
But what I genuinely wish was that we just bring back this whole, here you go, this is a Twitch link of the DJ after you. And I know a lot of DJs prefer by now to use VRCDN, but then I'm still here like, okay, but you can literally forward VRCDN to your Twitch with like 2 clicks, and you don't have to run anything else beside it. VRCDN is doing it for you. And I just want to support like fellow DJs, man. Is that too much to ask for? I just want to make sure everyone gets heard, you know?
I think that's a pretty interesting thing to bring up. Yo, Vestero, what's poppin'?
Many DJs don't do that because most of them don't want to fuck around with extra camera perspective for streams, etc. And just having the visuals on screen is not entertaining for viewers. That's a reason why many people stopped giving their Twitch link out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not, but that's not even what I mean. You can have your VRCDN, you stream to your VRCDN, you give your VRCDN to your host, but then you also put your stream key into your VRCDN. And yeah, maybe it's just gonna be visuals, but that doesn't mean that if I raid a DJ who's just showing visuals and playing their music, that doesn't mean that the people I send over there won't have a good time with the music. Like I just don't want people to be like, all right, Anks is done, bye. I don't want
Oh,
that.
I've seen that. I've actually seen that happen IRL. I think
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh dude,
Can't really prevent it, can you?
have you I'm pretty sure all of us who've been to like real life events, if after the headliner is some other guy who isn't, clouded or whatever, I have seen an entire club just clear out because they were like, oh, main act's finished, and then they all just dip. And then the guy's playing for like
Yeah.
the 4 or 5 super drunk people that, haven't decided to leave. Same can happen in VRC, says Ari. No, I do
Oh,
agree with
it
that.
happened to me before that I would be playing after a big name and I would just like, all right, Woo, party, and then just empty.
Yeah, yeah. So that kind of brings me to an interesting question. I mean, the original question I had was, what makes a good DJ in VR? But I feel as though that's kind of vague. So maybe I want to revise that question to what do you think as a DJ makes people want to continue coming back to your music or your streams or your social media platforms? Like what do you think has kind of helped you in your journey?
I like the other question more. Can I answer that one too?
Okay, you can answer that one too. That works.
Yeah. What makes a good DJ to me is if the people who are there have a good time. Period. If it's just like, one person full body dancing the hardest and then like 2 desktop dudes in the back, if those 3 people had a great time, congrats, you're an amazing DJ.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe actually mix, like if it's pre-recorded, all right, no problem, but actually like don't just throw in like YouTube link after YouTube link. That isn't exactly DJing, but
Damn.
that's what makes a good DJ for me. Just if people enjoy what you do, great. What was the second question again?
Oh, the second question is kind of I'm trying to remember this as well. With your own journey, right? Because I wanted to revise the original question of what makes a good DJ. But for you personally, what has kind of helped you continually bring people back? Or, oh, snap, Anks is playing in VR. Oh, we see the ping in Discord. Like, let's go hop in and listen to live music. Like, what are some things that you think you've implemented? Or maybe things that you kind of subconsciously did that you didn't realize you did that made people want to keep coming back? Do you think it's just all about vibes? Is it your humor? What do you think it might be?
I wish I knew, man. I so basically, in this whole thing that I built up, there are a lot of like little pieces that basically like are working together, and a lot of little aspects that I added over the years. But what ultimately like makes it for people, no fucking clue.
Hmm.
I wish I knew, because some people tell me, oh, this is really great, and then the next person says, nah, Angs, that's bullshit, why are you doing that? So I'm just like, all right, whatever, I'll just do what I think works. I do what is enjoyable to me ultimately. I try to do what if I was someone who joins a VR chat club and like sees my own stream and hears the music, I would want to enjoy that. Although that isn't always true either, because I like mixing some genres that I don't like listening to, which is really fucking stupid. But anyway, like there are just a lot of small things, I think, but I can't really put my finger on it. Like, yeah, and that was the moment where apparently I was good enough to be playing for Slyfest or something. For example, eventually, I got annoyed by the fact that I have my camera view on the screen behind me, because obviously you would put Twitch in. So I was like, okay, I want visuals on the screen, but I still want camera on Twitch. So I started doing a double stream. I stream visuals to my VR CDN, and I stream my camera to Twitch. Yeah. which fries my computer every fucking time for the trooper, seriously.
Yeah.
And on top of that, that allowed me to happily chat away on Twitch, but people in VRChat who don't want to hear me, babbling away all day, they can just listen to the music in VRChat because the VRCDN stream doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So that's for example like one small thing where I thought like, okay, this is like pushing it further towards creating two experiences. One, that is quote unquote optimized for VRChat, and one that is optimized for Twitch, with like overlays and stuff like that. So that is like one thing that I'm kind of proud of as well. But apart from that, like, holy moly, like, for example, I really enjoy top 40, like mainstream music, and then you get people who give me shit for that, and I'm just like, well, I'm sorry.
You're playing Despacito again?
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, man. I'm playing Captain Jack like every other day. So do you know how fucking old that song is?
Jeez, that is so. From what I'm hearing, it's interesting you said optimize, because you've optimized your VR CDN for the people who are just in VR chat and want to listen to the music, but also on your Twitch streams. And I've been joining your Twitch streams here and there. Yeah, you do make a clear effort to interact with the chat. You have your channel points set up. Hey, increase the BPM by 1, or change the song, and all these little fun little things where maybe the people in VR chat might not know what's going on, but the people who are watching on stream can actually interact and have an impact on the things that you're doing. So I think that's really interesting that you brought that up. We have a lot of comments from people who are just vouching for you. I mean, Snitchy said...
I love how Ari brings it up. Oh, sorry. I just want to throw that in really quick, how Ari brings it up right now. I have one redeem for Electro Swing, for, any Electro Swing song, and then one for Tear Out. So, yeah, like you said, sometimes people in VR chat really don't know what's going on when I go from Tear Out to Electro Swing and straight back.
They're like, what? Did she just mess up?
It's I don't know. Maybe it's unique. Maybe people like that. I don't know.
That makes sense.
It is funny though. It is funny, and it keeps you on your toes. It's challenging.
Now, I have a serious question to ask.
Oh boy.
One that requires me to cross my legs.
Oh God, not the legs. Oh no.
This is So, do you feel as though that being a furry has helped you with your branding?
No, I wouldn't say so. Here's a little fun fact for you. I introduced my first furry avatar around Halloween last year, and I was terrified of it.
Oh.
I was genuinely scared that people would give me shit for it. I love furry avatars. They're so fucking cute. Look at the beans. Look at them. They're so adorable. So I had that furry avatar for quite a while beforehand. I would love, like, hanging out in furry avatars and just be like, ooh. Like, you should have been there when I discovered my very first furry avatar work. My best friend was there, and it was kind of like, it was an experience as if, like, I think, imagine parents like dropping off their child in, like, the playground, and the child keeps coming back, look at this. That was literally me. Just like, look how cute this is. And he was just like, yeah, Anks. So I wouldn't say it helped with my branding or anything like that. It definitely made me feel more comfortable knowing that people are cool with it. And then it kind of spiraled out of control. Like, now I have a literal loading screen in front of my stream where people can vote.
I did
for,
see
like,
that.
They want like fox Anks, wolf Anks, human Anks, dragon Anks, cat Anks, bunny Anks. So it kind of... Yeah, but I wouldn't say it particularly helped or something like that. But it definitely made me very happy.
Well, I think that's all that matters. The reason why I asked this question is because I think our chat even knows furries have a death grip on this game. And when I say death grip, I mean they are some of the most talented developers, mod creators. Well, maybe not mods, but because we don't have that anymore. Thank you, Anti-Cheat. I still love it. Please don't
we're not
cancel
starting that
chat.
topic.
Yeah, we're not starting Anti-Cheat. But, I think we can all say that furries, if you just spend enough time on the timeline on X, they're making cool avatar parts, worlds, some of the best. Yeah, it's this karaoke world, furry karaoke, was theoretically super low latency, and they were the first ones to do it. And reading the comments right now, they're party animals. God, that is crazy. That's insane. The reason why I asked this question, kind of as a normie, if you can tell by my avatar, is because a lot of people on the quote human side of things that haven't really crossed over kind of think, oh, if you're a furry, you just automatically get all this furry clout because God, furries love furries or something like that. But in that case, I don't really think that's necessarily true. Do you think you've seen kind of some cases like that, or not necessarily?
I wouldn't know, to be honest. No fucking clue. Like, Jen, is furry cloud a thing? And where can I get it? No, I'm kidding.
Calling our resident furry, is furry clout a thing?
Fun fact, actually no. It's the opposite. If you're in a furry avatar and you do worlds and shit, people often have a higher, like, they're expecting more. Just
Oh.
furries and high tech skill and high quality is just so intertwined in VR chat now.
Oh shit. You know, that is something. Wait, that's actually a really interesting perspective. If you're a furry, the standards are even higher for you. God damn.
Oh boy.
They don't, you guys can't.
Now I'm worried.
Yeah, Anks, like, come on. You're representing the community, man.
Oh, nah, fuck no. I'm not representing anyone but myself.
That is a hard take, said Arcantos. No, I mean, I think that's kind of interesting. Maybe for the people who are, wait. Bandy said, Asian man realizes a furry is the virtual version of a model minority. Oh my god! Wait!
What the fuck is happening?
Do you know about the model minority myth?
No, this is the first time I'm hearing that.
Okay, I'm gonna explain the American model minority myth to you guys really quickly, just for context. Okay, so here in America, the general population likes to think of Asian people as the model minority, meaning, oh, they're quiet, they just do their work and they go home, they don't rebel, they don't backlash, they're respectful, all these like things, which, you know, is not necessarily true because, hi, there's me. But that being said, it's a myth, right? Bandy just said furries with the high standards, because if you're Asian, you got to have high standards, right? They're the model minority version in VRChat.
Oh.
Oh my god. Snitchy said, same in Norway, but with Vietnamese, hard workers, and so on. Oh, well, wow, we're getting a whole bunch of follows. Thank you for the follows, guys. Prequito Rosa. We have Twisted Washu and Aquaman. Hey, Aquaman.
Hi, Washu.
Hello.
Washu is the best friend I mentioned who had to witness me running around like, Washu, look at the beans.
Oh, Washu was there. Wait, so Washu was there when you were first becoming a furry? Or getting, like, accepting
Nah,
yourself?
honestly, even long before VRChat, like, I was at conventions and stuff. I would love the fursuits. I was just like, oh my god, look at them.
Wow.
I think it was always there. Like, nah, man, that goes way back.
Wow. Look at the beans, Twisted Washu beans. I've learned what beans were thanks to you guys. I was like, what beans?
Ta-da.
Like.
So I have a question now because NoosphereVR says, is Anks already a pop fur? What is that?
Yeah,
I
what
don't
is a
even know
pop
all the
fur?
terms. I don't know shit, man.
She's a fake furry.
I mean, honestly, I don't care I genuinely do not care what you call me. Like, whether you call me furry or if I randomly decide to hang myself with Chainsaw and then you call me ego, I don't give a shit. I like this avatar. I don't care what you call it. And, you know, if someone thinks like, oh, my avatar makes my brand, then you might want to put some extra work in, honestly. Like, it shouldn't be, like, connected to yourself like that, you know? I'm pretty sure, and, like, I am confident enough to say that. I hope I won't get any shit for that. I think if I would show up in a completely different avatar tomorrow and say, hey, guys, this is my new drip, and then we just keep partying and DJing, I think most people would just be cool with it and just be like, all right, whatever, cool.
Yeah.
Because that's how it went when I introduced my furry for Halloween. So now I'm just here like, yeah, you know, we're all just here to have a good time. And, you know, we all just want to look at how we want to look. So why the fuck give each other shit for that, you know?
Yeah.
I never really understood that. It's like, oh my god, it's an e-girl. Oh, it's a furry. It's an Eva. Yeah, whatever. It's VR, man. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Within legal reasons.
With all of this creative freedom, that is why I'm still an Asian man. Because I could be anything. And I decided to be me. Ain't that crazy? And I'm the minority here. According to that statistic, that survey that we went over in our spaces, I'm a minority within minorities. Because males, like 80%, what was it? 85% of males in VRChat choose to use female avatars. That is crazy. That's
Would you look at that?
yeah, would you look at that? So, but interesting question that I just thought of actually, because I think this is really unique because you have not just the perspective of a streamer, but you also have the perspective of a DJ, but also a VJ, a video jockey. I think that's the term for it.
A visual jockey.
Yeah, visual jockey. Yeah, a visual jockey. So one of the questions I want to ask is, the way I've kind of seen the scene, there is a lot of respect given maybe to the go-go dancers and the DJs and wow, they're getting all the attention because they're up there in the front. But a lot of people often don't mention the people behind the scenes who are creating the live visuals for the audience to actually enjoy. So with that in mind, what have been some of the differences in maybe reactions that you've gotten going from being a DJ and then maybe being a VJ sometimes? Do you think there's kind of a stark difference in the way that people treat you or they treat VJs in general? I'm just kind of curious on your outlook here.
What I experienced so far is literally you either don't get recognized like at all, or people see you and go like, "Oh my god!" But so for example, in Schism, where I'm the only one doing the visuals, like I'm the VJ there. I have my own little booth in the world, which is like right opposite from the dance floor, so I can see the entire thing.
Yeah.
Plus, I can hide everyone and save my frames because I definitely need them.
Yeah.
And I had plenty of people come up to me like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And I would say like, "Well, I'm doing, what's on the screens." And so like, "Oh, well, isn't that audio linked?" And I'm just like, "How is that video audio linked?" So we would just be like, it's just there, right? Same with light operators, funnily enough, apparently some people just think they're just there, but there's so much work going into that, man.
That makes sense.
Or, the exact opposite, where people go like, "Oh my god, you're doing visuals, holy shit."
Yeah.
But honestly, I think a VJ should get, just as much like recognition as a DJ. And funny that Ari just puts in this little comment, photographers and videographers and, all those people behind the scenes, like, yeah, they also kind of, I feel like they get shoved to the sides like way too often when they're doing like freaking amazing work, honestly.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way as well. I was going to maybe comment that photographers and videographers maybe possibly get a little bit more, not respect, but more, they're seen more often because they're actually in the crowd and moving around, whereas most of the VJs that I've seen, like you mentioned, are in a booth, maybe tucked away in a corner, which brings up this funny quip of, if you work in IT, it's a thankless ass job. And I think the same kind of applies to the videographers, photographers, production team, but also the VJs as well. Do you think that it's kind of a little bit of like a thankless job at times?
No, I don't think so. Because I at least get the club owner or club host like reach out to me, because obviously they have to coordinate all of that. And once you actually do point it out, like I had plenty of people who would only learn then that VJs are a thing. They would just say, like the visuals are just there. Fuck knows where they came from, but they're there. So I think, yeah, I wouldn't really say so, but I'm also just really happy to just do it because, yeah, I don't know, I just have a lot of fun doing it, I think.
Yeah. We have
Plus, oh, sorry.
Oh, no,
the
please,
DJs
go
get
ahead.
very thankful very quickly when they got cocky with you beforehand and you just shut off the visuals.
Oh.
Please tell me that
I did
before.
that once and put on a blue screen because that DJ was a bit of an asshole. I won't disclose any further details, and it was only for a few seconds. And I won't do it again, I promise.
Gotcha. We have a pretty interesting question from Bandy, and we got some comments or replies from some people, but in your personal opinion, how much prep before a show would you say a VJ does versus a DJ?
I can only speak for myself, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
because I noticed that VJs have like very different ways of working. But for me, so much more. Oh my god.
Wow.
Like when if you would ask me to like DJ like now, I would just get up, walk to my desk, plug it all in, and do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For VJing, I actually like I need to like what I do at least. I reach out to the DJ, be like, okay, I need kind of like your vibe, kind of sorta. What genre do you want to play? What direction are we going? And then I need to pick out the visuals, put them together in a way that actually works. By now, I have a bunch of projects, like a huge number of all my visuals like kind of arranged and like sorted in ways that work. However, almost all of them, for the Schism UV map, which wouldn't work on a regular screen. So if someone hits me up with them, it's like, all right, time to move some stuff around again.
Oh, wow.
I would say like there's definitely a lot more work going into VJing compared to DJing, because like if I look at the prep work that I'm doing for Schism, I would say like 1 to 2 hours per DJ, and that is now that I kind of like figured things out and I know what works in the world and stuff like that. So I would say like yeah, definitely a good chunk more. Plus, it's so much more expensive than DJing. Oh my god.
Remember to say thank you to your local VJ. Because they
Yep.
put in the work. Wait, money as in because you're buying all the visual assets and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I know a bunch
God.
of VJs who do their own assets, which is awesome. Holy shit, that's so cool. But I like basically, like DJing. I buy my songs, I buy my visuals.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a producer, so I can't make my own songs yet.
Ooh, I heard some
But,
VJ artists are using AI tools.
I'll get to
AI.
that in a second. But yeah, these like visual assets, they're so expensive. You can get free ones, obviously, but the style I like is usually.
Ah, I see. We have a specific question from Como. Other than Resolume, I think that's how you pronounce it, what other software do you use?
Resolume.
Resolume.
Resolume, our Lord and Savior.
Resolume.
Literally just Resolume. And sometimes when I have to edit stuff around and like I prepare some clips, then Adobe Premiere for like some prep work. If I'm like, oh, I want this munched together somehow.
I have
So
another
getting to
another
the
hard hitting
AI part now?
question. Another hard hitting question I must ask. So, you don't have to give me an exact number, but from avatar and world creation to DJing and VJing, based off of those two, which side of VRChat would you say you spent more money on?
VJing.
Yeah,
No!
Yeah,
What?
definitely VJing.
That can't be
definitely.
real. Wait, seriously? You guys spend more money on VJing than avatar assets?
I mean, I sure as hell did.
Yes, like one of my packs usually costs me around 100 to 200 bucks because I need them in 4K so that I can use them IRL as well.
What?
Yeah, see, I get mine in 1080, so I only pay 70.
That's so expensive.
Only
Plus, when
70?
You buy like 3-4 packs every month because
Yeah.
you want to expand your library.
Well, I haven't bought packs in like at least I think at least a year, I think, because it just I couldn't afford it. But yeah, you can definitely put a lot of money in it.
Jeez. That's
There's
really
a reason
expensive.
so many VJs start learning to do their stuff themselves. Because it's hella expensive. It's like, I'm gonna be honest, inside of the whole VRChat bubble, it's the most expensive hobby.
Wow. Okay.
I do want to add something though,
Yeah,
because
go for it.
Firescore is just bringing that up, and you can find a lot of VJing material for free. And I'm always someone who says, like don't let anything like keep you from doing that. Like, for example, when a DJ tells you like, yeah, my controller was so expensive, I'm the first one to say like, shut up. You can do that with mouse and keyboard. The software's free, and you probably already have music on your computer.
Yeah.
Same with VJing. You can get a 30-day free trial of Resolume. There is actually an alternative
Excuse
on
me.
Booth. I forgot, like, it was definitely a lot cheaper than Resolume. And I saw people put together visuals in Premiere before or any video editing software, and you can get VJ loops for free. So if you want to get into it, you don't need a controller. No, you don't need like expensive packs. You don't need a fucking, I don't know how many hundreds of dollars software. Get some free loops, get yourself a free video editing software, and I don't know, a song or a full DJ set, and off you go.
I think we need to revive Nyan Cat as a VJ loop.
I mean,
Oh my god, I would be so down for just hitting some DJ with that stuff as a loop.
Your visuals are only Nyan Cat, but it's different versions
God.
after every song. It's like
future funk or something, just different versions of the Nyan Cat.
Oh, also, I think I have another question. Okay.
Oh no.
is it a leg cross question?
No, it's not a leg cross question. This is a genuine question. So, I mean, you spent a good amount of time in VRChat and growing your social medias like Twitch and Twitter and VRChat itself, maintaining these one-on-one relationships. What do you think has kind of been the biggest difference between your relationship with VRChat as just a regular player versus now that you're actually doing performing arts in here? Do you think your vision of the game has changed? Do you think that your goals have kind of differed and it's no longer just a game but more of a place to hang out? How has that outlook kind of changed over time?
I mean, I wouldn't even consider VRChat a game in the first place. It's a social platform, So I don't really call it a game by default. And I wouldn't see it as like, now it's like work or whatever either. Twitch, I sometimes, consider as like work because, I make a part of my money well with it. I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. But I wouldn't necessarily connect it to VRChat. If I want to stream something else one day that isn't VRChat, like, I don't know. I think I live quite well with that attitude of just being like, it's there and I'm having a great time on it. And then I can also stream it. How cool is that?
That is true. So would you say, as just a VR citizen then in this case, things haven't really changed too much for you? Instead, maybe you've found a passion and an outlet for you to actually showcase your creativity?
Well, one thing that certainly changed is that sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes people walk up to me and are like, "You're Anks!"
Reality or
Uh-huh.
VR?
In VR.
Oh, in VR. Yeah.
I was actually one time I was just, minding my own business, just, being on the dance floor, having a good time, and someone walks up to me and is like, "You're Anks, can I take a photo with you?" And I'm just like, "What?" Like, don't get me wrong, I felt honored like that one, but that was also so crazy to me. Like in VR, it's just like,
Yeah.
that was crazy. Like being recognized by people, and then like in VR, that is so beyond me still. It makes me happy that people come up to me and tell me how much they like what I do, or that they enjoy it or whatever. But it's just so mind blown like every time. And for the IRL event as well, which one was it in July? I was at one that was held by the Fishbowl. Like they actually rented out a club and all that, and they had 10X, Obaka, and me as DJs. That was crazy, like actual club equipment and all that. And I was absolutely shitting myself,
in
but
reality.
it went okay. But that was Costa del Fishbowl Fire Score, got it just right. That was like one of the first times where that was actually the first time that like a lot of people would approach me IRL and be like, "Oh, Anks, I love your music so much." I was just like, holy shit, this is reality. I was so mind blown by that. Like that was so beyond me. Even though I was on the fucking poster, I was obviously booked as the DJ, but just like realizing it like that, and obviously it all started in VRChat. But I remember like the first time like someone came up to me and it just hit me like, holy shit.
It's a weird ass feeling. That is for sure.
It was weird, but at the same time, I was so happy to obviously I'm well aware that we're all real people, but I was just so happy that it's like, this is actually like, this person enjoys what I do and it made them happy. It made their day. It was just like, mission success. Yay.
Yeah.
That was so crazy.
Yeah, I think Fire has a pretty good comment here. People coming up to you IRL about anything you do, or even just in VR, when they come up to you, it's so affirming. And I remember when someone came to me and said, "Oh, you're a Turtles guy. I seen your like TikToks or whatever, or your YouTube videos." It feels as though you're actually seen even in this virtual world, and it kind of, like Fire said, reaffirms that, oh, I'm not just mindlessly playing music or creating content, throwing it out into the void, but there are genuinely a lot of people who like the content. They want to follow it. They want to see what you're doing in that case, which I think is super, super amazing. Oh my God, is that the Spaces guy? No, I'm the live stream guy now. Well,
it's the VR bozo. Holy shit. But yeah, that was crazy, and especially like thinking, you know, obviously people traveled there and they bought tickets. Now it's just like, what the fuck, you know. And then you had people on top of that who went like, "Anks, I'm just here for your set," and it's just like, "You came here for one set? Oh my God, why?"
Yeah, I'm leaving after your set because I don't want to.
No, they stayed there the entire time. But you know, they said like, "Oh, I look forward to yours the most," and I was just like, I'm having an impact on people. What the fuck?
Yeah. So maybe I want to go on the other side. And thankfully, I haven't had too many of these weird experiences. But have you ever seen the other side of the fence where instead of the, "Oh, you know, I love your content, I love what you do," instead you get the other half, which is, you know, maybe a little bit creepy. They don't understand social boundaries. Have you ever had those incidents happen?
Oh, absolutely. I just try to not think about it too much because I think every thought wasted on people like that is, well, wasted. But I'll go into it for a second anyway. I think it is just a normal thing, you know, that just happens when you you know, like when you grow a presence, you know. And I'm pretty proud of the like number of people I got on my Twitch chat, on my Twitch stream. And well, it's just pretty normal that, you know, when that happens, you also get people who won't like that for whatever reason. Maybe they don't like the genre you play. Maybe they don't like that you're so chipper and constantly talking or whatever. They don't like your avatar, whatever. But yeah, I had people, you know, give me shit for literally anything, like the genres I play. Actually, I have too many avatars. What the fuck? Oh, she's focusing on Twitch so much. It's so cringe. Like, cool DJs, they just stay in VR, you know, and it's underground. Yeah, you will always find someone to give you shit for literally anything. Whatever, man. Like, honestly, like, if you are someone who, you know, not you, but as in, like, in general, if you're someone who spends time looking at someone else and thinking, that's such bullshit. Why is this person doing that? How about instead of wasting your time with those thoughts, you know, you spend that time on Google or YouTube and learn a cool skill yourself? How about that? You know, little less wasting of your own lifetime and more spending it with something cool. Or someone cool.
Easier. Why should I spend my own time and money on picking up a hobby if I can just shit on yours, Anks?
It's bad for your blood pressure, and you're gonna grow gray hair faster. How about that?
That's a valid point.
Wow, guys. Please don't be weird. We're real people too. Yeah, don't be weird. Essentially, yeah. Create, have fun, and share. But always troll. But there's always trolls or someone that has something negative to say. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They're always gonna be there, you know. And the best thing you can do is to just not give them any attention, because like after all, you can't discuss with them. You know, they won't change their mind. So just leave it be, whatever. And I'm well aware that, you know, you can read 100 positive comments and one negative. The negative one will always stick. But don't do that. It's not good for you. Don't. Just don't.
So you got into DJing and VJing at around 2021, around those years?
VJing significantly later, actually. So DJing around 2 years and 3 or 2 months ago. I know because one time I threw a big ass party for my 1 year anniversary, and that was in August 2022. So that's what I'm kind of always going by. VJing, maybe 1.5 years, maybe.
So, given, you know, you've spent a good amount of time DJing and doing performing arts on this platform, is there anything new that you want to try? Is there anything different that you wish that you saw more people do? Has that thought ever really crossed your mind, or are you pretty happy with the things that hold on, holy shit, how can I not English? Are you pretty
Yeah,
happy
that's-
with the way that things are working out for you right now?
I mean, I am pretty happy with it, but I always like I love just looking around and see like what can we do in VR, you know? For example, I absolutely like a little while back I played for Light Dimension the first time, you know, and you got Lessie and is it Lessie? Let's say I don't know to be honest. I'm sorry. I call them Lessie, who you know do like these live particles like in the world and all that, which is like it gives me goosebumps every time. And that was one of the moments where I was just like, oh my god, that's so amazing, and I love stuff like that where people, you know, they don't just see VR and they go, "Ooh, let's do something that we already do IRL, but in VR." That's also cool. Don't get me wrong, but I love when people actually explore what we can do with this like big ass toolbox that is VRChat and Unity, you know, because you can do literally anything. That's, for example, a big reason why I love performing for Evergarden that much as well, because you know, I got the stage, I pick a song, and I can do whatever. It's awesome.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I genuinely I love it so much when people really like look at things from a different perspective. You know, for example, like, oh, how can we take our music from our DJs and like make it a whole new experience? How can we take visuals and stuff? You know, for example, Schism, you know, I loved seeing that for the first time when they asked me to be their VJ, because they have, you know, this big screen in the back and one big one at the top, and they used to have one at the bottom as well, which is what an awesome playground for a VJ. I love stuff like that. I honestly love it so much. So I am very happy with where I am right now, but I just love, you know, being on this quest of trying to find like different things to experience and like getting my mind blown. I love it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I've got a another leg cross question right over here. This
oh,
is
no, not the leg cross.
this is gonna be kind of a slightly hot
oh,
question.
boy.
This is something that we have discussed on our spaces in the past, but since I have you right here in front of me, in front of a live audience, I think this is I think somewhat relevant to our
Aw,
conversation.
shit.
Should VR clubs or performing events charge for entry? Ooh.
Okay, well, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I think yeah, we definitely already like touched that topic in the past. I'm constantly like going back and forth with that, because on the one hand, I love the fact about VR or VRChat, because you know obviously you can use it in desktop as well, that it's so accessible. Anyone can come in here, you know, if like whether you have a social anxiety, whether you physically can't leave the house, whatever it is, you can just come here and, you know, enjoy your time anyway, and you can do it in whatever way you like. For example, like if you just want to have a club feeling but you hate seeing people, just hide everyone. Done.
That's
You
true.
got the whole club for yourself. So you know, everyone can come in here and they can do it for free, you know, unless they do this shit. They can just come in here and they can craft their own experience in that matter, you know, by making it suitable for themselves, and then they can just have a great time. So oh my god, I love that so much about VRChat. So I one day I said for myself, I always want to make sure that when I am DJing somewhere, people can just come in and join me with that. That was actually a reason why I decided to not apply for Virality anymore.
Oh,
I
wow.
fully understand that Virality, you know, is building all these amazing worlds for their convention, all that. They have to charge entry. I understand that, like, fully. But at the same time, I was like, but I want to make sure that people, you know, can just be there when I'm there, you know? You know, and then on the other hand, obviously, especially like in my matter, you know, Twitch is a part-time job for me now. I rely on people being kind and generous enough to support me, which can be a bit of a wobbly road sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm very, very lucky to have a community that actively supports me. Like I cannot fucking believe it myself. Like every time I think about it, I'm just like, holy shit, Anks, you're so freaking lucky. But yeah, so like yeah, I keep like being on like this back and forth with anything like with charging entry. I think like for myself, I want to keep this accessibility aspect. I don't want to lock anyone out or anything. If the instance is full, sure, then I can't really do anything about it. But on the other hand, I understand what people think about it. But yeah, I think for me personally, I'm just like, man, I love it so much that anyone can just come in and be like, holy shit, Anks, you're DJ, awesome, I'm gonna join too. I love that so much that I just don't want to miss that aspect. And honestly, like I've been I've been through some shit, all right? I know exactly what it's like to have no money, no one to talk to, and just like you're just there and you're just like, man. So I just, love that people are able to come in here and all of a sudden they have an experience and they have people to talk to. I love that so much. I don't want to take that away from anyone. So to try and do a TLDR of this, if you think about charging for a club, cool. You do you. I might just not DJ there.
Yeah.
But, no hard feelings or anything. I'm not here like, what the fuck? How dare you? Brr. Because I think, anyone can do whatever they like, really.
Yeah. So for you,
And
it kind of
I
goes
can do whatever
against.
I like,
Yeah. Oh wow. Bunch of new followers. Hello Oddity. Hello Alpha. Welcome.
Oddity, hi.
Yes. Hello. Welcome. So I guess for you, the idea is it goes against your ethos of having these amazing VR experiences that were created by the people, for the people, and keeping that grassroots community feel. And I remember interviewing this one guy in one of my older videos. I was like, so why did you decide to create a VR club? And he said, I want to give people the same VR experiences that I received when I was a brand new player and kept me in this game to new players as well. And he wanted to continue on that tradition and that legacy of, yeah, these are free events. These are real people dancing. These are real DJs. Come and enjoy. And that was kind of his ethos. And he was like, yeah, I'm probably losing money every month, but that's okay because I love it. And he has a stable 9-to-5 job anyways. So
That's a great take, honestly. I love that.
yeah, I think that's a pretty good take. I'm trying to remember his name, but I can't right now. But yeah, so that makes sense. So charging for people, and we've got some really interesting comments here. One from Snitchy saying instances need to hold over 1,000 people, and then money is a thing. And if you spent $2,000 in full body tracking and all these base stations and whatnot, the last thing you probably want to do is spend even more money every single week or every single month going to these virtual events.
Yeah.
But that brings me to another interesting question. Because the landscape of social VR is only going to increase over time, whether we like it or not. Mr. Corpos, Zuckerberg, Meta, Quest headsets, Apple is getting into the AR, VR, spatial computing realm, whatever you want to call it.
Pico finally supports VRChat as well.
Whoa.
Pico is supporting VRChat now as well. Do you think at some point that we are going to get to a place where more clubs are going to just start charging as you would a regular IRL club or a bar or a music event? And if so, what do you kind of envision for the future?
I don't know really. I don't know. I honestly I have no idea where this ride is going. Like, I'm a delusional person, I always kind of try and I hope that like people can learn kindness and just not like shitting on each other and stuff like that. You can actually read in my status right there.
Oh yeah, be kind.
So in that matter, I'm just a little like delusional, I guess. I kind of just want to keep up this accessibility. And yeah, sure, I can totally see that like people or corporations or whatever will come in and try and make money off of things. I think that's okay. Like we all have to eat, pay rent,
Yep.
live.
Yeah.
But does that mean I have to go along with it? Not really. Yeah, I can just do whatever, really.
That makes sense. I kind of envision the future a little bit like if these instances they can hold over 1,000 people, then that might make a little bit more sense because everyone is in the same instance. It's like a big festival, right? And everyone is in Maine and everyone's happy instead of having these redundant instances where you can only fit 60 to 80 people, and then maybe your friend group is split up, and you can't get your friends to actually come in the same world with you because Maine is packed, and oh my god, there's all these different barriers. But I kind of envision it would be crazy to have a 1,000 person instance that's live.
Well, I definitely wouldn't be able to DJ in there. I would just my
That's
computer
true.
would explode.
I would crash the moment the world is properly loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and some jokes that people are making. Oh, you can't pay a DJ $5, but you just spent $50 on alcohol. That is real. Wow. And
I feel called out.
in my most recent video from 3 months ago, I know, I'm sorry guys. I was interviewing this guy, and he said, like, why do you rip avatars? And he said, because I can't afford it. And then he had full body tracking, and I'm like, dude, you just spent $2,000 on full body tracking, and you can't spend.
Oh god.
You can't
that
spend
video,
60.
That video was a whole trigger for me, man.
Oh, yeah. But I do want to ask another DJ, VJ related question, because that was the original intent of, what was supposed to be Spaces, and now we're in VR.
Oh, right. What are we talking about again?
So maybe this is kind of a funny one.
Go ahead.
Because you're not in America.
And, you're right.
Yeah, I know.
It
It's
is
crazy.
Thursday,
Yeah.
8:30 p.m. You got that right.
It only took me, a couple months to get that right. But
So proud of you, man.
yeah, you're not in America. You're in Germany. And but you do hang out with a lot of different Americans and people from all over the world. So with that being said, maybe a funny question to ask is, do you think from your experience there's kind of a culture difference between DJs from the UK versus Germany versus America here in the VR scene, or do you think it's all kind of the same?
I didn't really experience that much of a difference, to be honest. In certain other things, for sure. Like, but I think that's a language thing. But in my experience, a lot of the Germans I meet seem to struggle a little with pronouns because they, them is not a thing in German. So I had to get used to that as well when I got on VRChat, funnily enough. But apart from that, I wouldn't say so, really. Like, it's not that, I meet other DJs and I don't know, they have like a totally like different view of music. I think that comes more so with like different genres and stuff, but I wouldn't say it's like a country-based thing.
So it's not very regional, but it's more so like, oh, the rhythm DJs are
Regional
like
in
this,
the DJ world.
the electro swing DJs are like this, the house DJs are like that.
Not extremely, but I see, like, sometimes I see it.
That's fair. Aria has a good question. Do you think we need more interesting clubs in Europe? Or what do you think is the problem that, quote, everyone wants to visit just the US clubs at stupid o'clock, 4 a.m.? Wow. Yeah. Actually, what does the European VR DJ scene look like for the non-Americans?
Yeah,
Pretty
I
rough?
do wonder sometimes, like, is the European scene actually that small, or do I just only know very little clubs? Like when it comes to the EU scene, let's see, I don't know, like Fishbowl, Just Party, DDVR, like the first few slots, they start at like 11 p.m. my time. Vanguard, exactly.
Like,
Wait,
there's
how-
not
how's-
that many.
Well, Light Dimension starts, it's like an 11 p.m. thing on Sundays for me. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm missing like any major ones, but I'm really bad at keeping up with things as well. But I think what we as an EU scene could definitely do better on are these experiences, that are just a little more than just, have like the DJ in the world and play music. And maybe like audio linked lights and stuff like that. Something like Light Dimension, for example. I'm sorry, I keep bringing up Light Dimension, but I was so blown away. Like, I have 4,000 hours in VRChat, I was absolutely
Oh, Light
mind blown by
Dimension is
that.
awesome.
So yeah, I feel like I think we could definitely go with some more experimental stuff like that. But on the other hand, I understand why people are a bit shy about it, maybe, because I guess it just takes time for things to get off the ground and all that. If that's what you're aiming for. And obviously, if you work on something for VRChat, most of the time you want people to see it. So I don't blame them at all. I would love for the EU scene to have more like really unique stuff like that. Oh yeah, and Tube Aquaman's just saying that. I forgot Tube.
I think
Oh.
we need to have less D&B. We have too much D&B. We have too much D&B in VR chat.
Do we?
Honestly, for the EU zone, I can agree. Like most of the DJ homies I know, they fucking love DNB. Like you're one of the few, you and Jiggy, that don't play exclusively DNB.
Oh really? Oh.
Everyone's rioting. They need more D&B.
I'm so
apparently.
out of touch with what everyone's doing because I'm so with my head in the clouds that I don't even know that.
Hear me out. I think we need more hardstyle.
Okay, now shut the fuck up.
No. I think we need more hardstyle. That is the real answer here. I think that's gonna solve this DJing issue.
Anks, can we vote kick him out of here?
No, what
Listen. Here's my take on things, right?
Okay.
Like in everything, there are trends, you know? Like, one year you will have like rhythm is gonna be really fucking big. Next year, drone bass. Year after that, it's gonna be house. The year after that, it's gonna be whatever. That's just the nature of things, you know? And that's okay. As long as everyone's having fun and doesn't give each other shit for something.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm really just here like, can we just all get along?
She's just vibing. She wants people to
literally,
love each other.
I just want to have a good time.
But we need a little bit of drama and toxicity, apparently, according to the timeline.
We
was about
don't.
To say, you, my man, preaching about plur and vibing, you won't be out of a job.
Dude, I am probably the most plur VR chatter in existence. Peace, love, unity, and respect. No?
There you go.
No?
I like that. I like that.
But genuinely, my real opinion is, yeah, I do see a lot of dubstep actual 140 being a little bit of a more present thing in the NA scene, you know, thanks to our friend Gray Steps. And then we have a lot of DMB in the UK scene as well. Really huge popular genre of music over there. So I kind of understand that each region has its own specific taste. And then maybe in, I don't know where Timboy lives, our friend Timboy, but he loves hardstyle, or even Merles. They love hardstyle. So wherever they are, they play a lot of music there too. How is the Asian VR clubbing scene? Ooh, I think this would not be a VR DJing scene conversation if we left out Asia. More specifically, Japan. Japan is crazy with it. Again, if you got the furry side of the community who make amazing assets, you got the Japanese side. And you have some Japanese furries as well, but definitely super talented. I haven't been to a lot of the Japanese VR music side of things, but I do know that they're very experimental, I think, from some of the sets that I've listened to, and maybe they play a little bit more. What's the genre? Psytrance? Some house? Like they're very.
I only knew them for the hip hop events, funnily enough, but that's because that's the only thing I ever played for there, and it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see a lot of like pictures and videos on Twitter, X, sorry. But apart from that, like when the Japanese scene starts, I'm usually still passed out on the weekends.
That makes sense. So the Japanese scene, I think, is also amazing. I think Korea is starting to come up just a little bit, but you brought up a really interesting point. Some tiny part of the VR music scene that almost nobody ever talks about. The hip hop clubs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We always think about electronic music, but we never think about any of the hip hop clubs. And you mentioned that you played for one of them. What was that experience like? Do you think the vibes were just completely different? People were getting down and dirty, or was it more just chill vibes, lo-fi? What was that experience like for you?
Oh, that was great, honestly, because, I love variety. I love doing one genre today and then a completely different tomorrow. And obviously, a lot of, EU or NA clubs, they usually ask for EDM, whether it's dubstep, house, whatever. So it was just really cool to see, like, oh shit, there are people actually asking for this. I was nervous as fuck. I'm not good at mixing hip hop, but I have a lot of fun doing so. So I just love seeing that. And people were like very eager to dance and like, proper dance,
Oh, yeah.
like full on like throwing down moves and all that. That was awesome, honestly.
Dude, we love hip hop, and every time I go to a hip hop club or an event, there's just people are dancing. And I don't mean
Yep.
just, dancing cute or whatever. They're getting down. They are dancing, whether you want to call it down and dirty, whether they're just grooving and bouncing up and down. There is more, I want to say, groove to their movements as opposed to the audience at an EDM club where, you're jumping up and down, you're headbanging.
Yeah.
Vibes are completely different. So that's one thing I wanted to point out as well. So, yeah, but there's not a lot of them, huh? What are some of
Well,
the hip hop events that you're?
I know two. So I've literally only played for Club Magenta. That
Mhm.
was the one event that I did. I think one time I was asked to play for a hip hop night, but I don't recall which club it was anymore.
Mhm.
And I do know that there is something called Pillow Talk where they play R&B.
Mm,
That's all. Apart from that, when I feel like playing hip hop, I play hip hop. If not, then yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense. So the people who are in chat, I think you guys heard some of the clubs out there. We could probably look them up on X, Twitter. They're always posting.
Probably.
Probably.
You know what else we're missing in VR chat though?
What are we missing?
More Latin DJs. I love
Ooh.
Latin so fucking much. I had so many people give me shit for it, and then after the set they go, "Oh, Anks, I didn't know I would like Latin." It's like, yeah, I
Dude.
love Latin so fucking much.
I joined in one of your streams where you were playing Latin music. I was like,
Oh, I remember that. You
I-
said like, "Oh, I didn't know like I would like Moombahton." It's like, yeah.
Yeah. And then I started really vibing with it. And next thing you know, I was on YouTube looking up Moombahton. Is that what you call it? Moombahton?
I mean, I don't know whether that's how you say it, but it's definitely how you write it.
Yeah. And it was, damn, I was really vibing with it. So we should get more Latin DJs, more hip hop clubs. Because definitely we have a huge EDM scene, but not a wide breadth of different genres. I want to say thank you, Anks, for taking the time out of your day to be the first guest on the small boat, or I like to dub it the turtle ship, as part of our first AMA stream. Last thing I want to ask is, in terms of the VRChat music scene, your own experiences, and you've seen the whole thing play out over the past couple of years, is there any parting words that you want to give to the audience, whether it becomes starting out in this journey or existing DJs or creatives that are getting into this field?
Yeah, I would like to answer one of the questions that I got the most ever since I got a hype, quote unquote, where I got like requested like a lot. So the question I get a lot is because, I played for a shitload of clubs. Like I think this year alone, I have like 150 events or something. Holy fuck, man. It's fucking crazy. But a lot of people always ask me, Anks, how do I get into these VR clubs? And it's pretty freaking easy. I actually said that in your video back in the days as well, and it didn't change. Just, reach out to club owners and be like, hi, here's my mix. Can I play for you guys? Obviously be nice about it. Don't be a dick like Saz was saying. But literally, I get so many people who just tell me, oh, I'm DJing, but nobody knows. What do I do about it? Well, tell them. And just, that's why it's kind of like the motto, quote unquote, of our community is "We Are Loud," which is something I don't know, I came up with it like months or years ago at this point, and that's literally it. Just be loud about what you do, reach out, and just keep trying. And I read a funny tweet the other day of like, oh, there are club owners who like block people who apply. Well, fuck those people. You don't need them then. If they just block you for just asking, you don't want to play there anyway, so fuck that. But yeah, prepare your mixes, keep practicing, reach out to clubs and be like, here you go, here's my mix, I would like to play for you, is that possible? If they say no now, they might say yes in a few months. So don't let anything discourage you and just keep going. You got this. That's all. And shout out wise, well, thank you, Turtles, for having me, and thank you to everyone who shows up to my sets and enjoys the stuff I do. Like, particular, like, to the people who keep coming back, like Sazu and Snitchy and Neochill, Cake Mix, Lizard, Noosephere. Holy fuck, there's so many people in this chat. I know. Holy shit. And Ari, of course. Whenever Ari's around, they're fixing my audio link. Mwah, thank you. But yeah, thank you to my community in particular who made this possible in the first place, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So yeah, that's